Hello, this is the welcome video. I almost said welcome email, but I already sent a welcome email. This is the actual welcome video. This is the intro that I would typically do in class, but since we are not meeting this week because I will be gone, I'm still doing it here so we can get this part done. Now there's a small part in this that in the PowerPoint I did not adjust because it's pretty much the same one I use at the beginning of every single quarter. I'll tell you what that part is. You'll understand. Blah, blah, blah. We're good to go. So, without further ado, welcome to Bio 124. I am Linda Bernhardt. I think I said in another video that you can call me Ms. Bernhardt, Mrs. Bernhardt, Ms. B, Professor B, whatever. I'm pretty much good with most things. Just don't let it be rude. There you go. Now, basics. Who am I? How will the course be run? What kind of questions you have? Number of tests, blah, 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 blah. Well, some of this, clearly I'm going to talk about right now. Other parts of this are covered in the syllabus video. That's the big difference between this PowerPoint and what's happening online, is I made a separate syllabus video. That way, I don't know, broke it up. I just thought it made sense. So anyway, I start here. It says me, but you notice I am not on this. I do this to try to show you a couple of basics, like I guess it's images so you can look at things while I'm talking, and it's showing you some of the more important beings in my life. It's funny I say that because Zoe, that's the cat that's by herself there, I never see her. She lives in my youngest's room. She doesn't like other cats, and the other two down there, those are my babies. That's Fang and Osiris. Fang is the gray one. Osiris is the one sleeping on top of him. Yes, they have reasons for their names, and no, I'm not going to tell you. I will wait until we see each other in person. There you go. The three humanoids there are my two kids and my nephew. But then I like to show you updated because these are very old pictures. Here are some more updated, but these are still like 2 years out of date. We have Fang and Osiris there. We've got my nephew Nicholas. I call him Nickel up there. And then we have my two kids over here. And Pax is the goofball who's holding up the bag of chips. Now, to tell you some about me, so you can understand parts. I'm not the typical teacher, mainly because I am not the typical human. The main things I always make sure to tell my classes each time is that I dropped out of school after the 9th grade. I just couldn't handle that, being there, where I was, life, any of that stuff in general. I got my GED as soon as I turned 18. I was already living on my own. I left home early and just worked. I worked from everything pretty much at the age of 18. I was a cocktail waitress in a strip club, and then I was in my 30s and I was a diesel mechanic in a truck stop garage. I have also been like the first female extruder operator for this one company. I made these 200 to 300 foot plastic bubbles and made shrink wrap, stuff like that. I've also had photography studio, managed a shoe store, bath specialist at Linens and Things. I've had a lot of jobs, like a lot of jobs. I have this attitude of when you're miserable where you are, you shouldn't be there anymore. And so if I decided I wanted to do something else, I just did. And that's how I've gotten to have a rather interesting speckled path. But that means that I have lived in a whole lot of different areas. I have done so many different jobs, and I kind of see things a little bit differently. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, on top of that, let's see, I also have PTSD, general and social anxiety. I have asthma, so when you hear me coughing and stuff like that, that's why. This whole pandemic respiratory issues is not helping this fact. have hypervigilance. That's another one of my little things. It means that my ears open up and I hear like absolutely everything. I'm very jumpy. I despise being the center of attention, but now I teach, and so everybody stares at me, which then just adds to the anxiety. So probably not a great choice, but I absolutely love what I do, and that's why I do it. My biggest thing is I love to help people find the aha moment and realize that science really isn't that hard, that it's just a lot of science people seem to make it hard. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Oh, I kind of brushed right over that whole quitting school thing there, didn't I? So, yes. I finished 9th grade, I quit school, got my GED as soon as I turned 18, and then I just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. Then in my 30s, when I was a diesel mechanic, one of the other mechanics, friend of mine, he wanted to go to college, and he didn't want to go alone, so he asked me to go. I laughed and told him I'm too old to go to college. He said, "You're too old not to," and I went, huh, good point. So we took the entrance exam together. I had never taken an ACT or an SAT or anything. I just took the entrance exam. I did horribly on the math part, and so I had to start with learning support for math. And it's so funny because I can math, I just didn't know any of the vocabulary. And when one of the first questions was, what is an integer, I just burst out laughing and started randomly clicking buttons. So I started at Valdosta State University with Math 097, which is the lowest math you can start with. I had to do 097 to 099 so then I could take the compass, so then I could take college algebra, so then I could move on. So I started as a learning support student. Now, why that matters. One, I know what it's like to not have been in the classroom in a long time and then gotten in there. I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong or to think something is too difficult. I was convinced that I was really stupid because I have an older sister who is that sister. To give you a clue, I dropped out of school in 9th grade. My sister, however, graduated high school at the age of 17, did college in 3 years, and started Duke Law School before her 21st birthday. Kind of a hard act to follow, you know? And so I just figured I was stupid. That was it. And college is when I learned that I'm not stupid. That was pretty cool. And I just took more and more classes. Everything fascinated me. I absolutely loved it. I wanted to learn everything. And so I started college in January of 2005. Yeah, 2005. And I graduated with a bachelor's in science and biology, bachelor of arts and philosophy. I was a double major and I graduated with honors. And then that was December of 2010. 2009, January of 2010, I started a master's for biology. And that summer I started a master's for public administration. And let's see, 2012, I think, is when I graduated with my master's in public administration. I started the doctorate for that as well, but stuff happened, life happened, my PTSD got kicked back into gear because of something that happened, and it made it really hard to complete my courses, and I never finished that semester, got the incomplete, and I keep trying to go back to finish that because I really want to be a Dr. Bernhardt, but I am not Dr. Bernhardt yet because I have not earned it. Once you stop taking classes, it's a lot harder to get back into taking classes, and I keep trying, but life is here and I have multiple jobs to pay all my bills, and so I don't have time yet to finish those courses. My hope is that eventually, the fact that I'm married and my oldest, both of them have jobs, and my youngest has started school. I'm hoping that eventually everybody else in the house will be able to start making enough money to pay enough bills that I can let one or two of my jobs go, and then I can get back into the education field and finish my doctorate, because I desperately want to have my GED framed and on the wall and then have a doctorate underneath it. I don't know why, that would just make me super duper happy. So why do I say all that? Well, because my brain just goes off and I rattle. That's why. And so, you know, when I'm talking about stuff, if I go off topic, there's normally a reason. However, you might not see it right off the bat. The reason I said all of those things is to say that I remember what it's like to be a student. I have had a lot of teachers somewhat recently, and I know which ones did things that helped me and which ones did things that did not help me. And so the ones that did and said a lot of stuff that just made me feel inadequate, I got rid of all that stuff. I mean, I still have to give tests because that's just part of the job. You have to. But on the flip side, everything that teachers I had, that what they did that helped me succeed, I have incorporated that into what I do. And I just realized something else I forgot to mention. I am also on the autism spectrum and have ADHD and dyslexia and stuff. So yeah, this whole me getting distracted, it's normal for me, and I'm so sorry. I get anxious and I get fidgety and I do a lot of talking. The more anxious I get, the faster I will talk. I can cover a lot of material very, very, very quickly. I don't mean to. And so when we are in actual class, like in person, or if we ever meet on a Zoom session, if I start talking really fast and you need me to slow it down, all you have to do is ask me a question. That's it. It's like, you guys are my human speed bumps. You help slow me down, and then we can get back on track. If you ask me a question and I'm in the process of answering it and I just kind of go woo all the way around, sometimes I'll realize I went too off topic and I will try to bring it right back around. I will end with, does that make sense? Or did I answer your question? If it does not make sense, or if it did not answer your question, please tell me. I'm not going to get mad at you. I just kind of need to make sure I got there, is all. I don't mean to go off like that. I just do. Kind of like now. And yes, I am aware that this is a video. Yes, I am aware that I could edit it. Am I going to? No. The reason I'm not going to is because what good is an intro if it doesn't actually help you learn who the person is? This will better prepare you for class with me than anything else ever, just so you know. Yeah, I think that should be about it for now. I'm sure I have plenty more to say, but I don't remember it, and it's not the same thing when you're just talking to a screen. So let's move on. Now, I have this rule about keeping your masks on. I have this in here to show you why it's so freakishly important. The one picture you see me peeking in the side, that's my mother. She is 77. She will be 78 this March 8th. And she has stage 3 kidney disease and high blood pressure and stuff like that. Of her siblings, there were 5 of them. It is now down to just her and her older brother. Everybody else has passed. And her twin sister just passed in 2018. I am doing everything I can to keep her healthy. This past year in November, she finally decided to sell her house. I got her moved into a senior apartment just in Tucker. I'm so excited because she was out in Carrollton. Now she's super close. So every day after I have been in class on Monday, I am going to be spending time with my mother at her apartment complex. If you are taking your mask off in class, you are putting me at risk and making it where I put my mother at risk. And if you say, well, then I shouldn't go over there, then just by you taking your mask off, you're keeping me from spending time with my own mother. And that is pretty friggin' cold and selfish. So keep your mask on. The other person, this one really hurts right now. That's my friend Jim. He's one of my oldest and dearest friends. We've been friends since 1989. That gives you a clue. We became friends because one of our mutual friends somebody he grew up with, someone I cared for very greatly, was killed in 91. And we got to be really good friends because of that. We met because of my friend Brian. But when Brian died, we kind of latched onto each other because we were the two that knew him the best. And so it was kind of our own way of keeping him alive. Well, this picture is Jim this past July 2020. Not COVID, no, but he has his own health issues, and he was in the hospital, and I couldn't even see him because I, can't take that risk. The reason I said this kind of hits hard right about now is because yesterday he was taken back into the hospital and they had him on the ventilator, and he has a lot of issues. And I was just informed this morning that he's going downhill and they have intubated him again. And so it's not looking great. And then on top of that, I also just found out this morning that my nephew Nickel, the one I showed you the picture of, he just tested positive for COVID. So anyone who wants to tell me it's not that big a deal, you're not going to want to hear my response on that. Just remember, you need to keep your mask on in the classroom because, well, trying not to do the because I said so thing, but I go over it in the syllabus as well, but it's because it's the right thing to do. If you have any heart whatsoever, you will put your own selfish stuff aside where you say, but I can't breathe, or it's not comfortable, or I don't like it, or any other stupid reason people use for it, and you'll just keep your mask on. It's the rules, it's the right thing to do, and these are the two people that I'm using as an example to tell you why I desperately need you to keep that sucker on. All right, here where it says syllabus time. Already did it. This just means go check out the other video. Now, what a lot of people end up wanting to know is what they should do. Like, how should they prepare for a class? Some people are like, but I don't really like science and stuff like that. If you're taking Bio 124, that means you have already taken Bio 123, so you should already have a basic idea. If you took it from me, you already know who I am, and you already know that you should be doing a lot of this stuff. However, if you haven't had me, recap. When you're looking through the book, look for keywords, anything that you don't know the meaning for. I'm not going to give you a definition test, a vocabulary test. However, if I ask you a question and there's a word in there you don't understand, you're not going to be able to answer the question. So making sure you understand the words, that's step one. At the ends of each chapter or throughout the chapters, you have things like check your progress and test yourself. If you do those, that will give you a good idea of whether or not you actually know the material. Going over the material before we do helps tremendously because it is not physically possible for me to cover every single part. I, as a teacher, am here to facilitate your learning, not to shove it down your throat. You, as the student, are supposed to be reading and studying on your own, and then I cover the highlights. That's just the way it's supposed to work. So you need to do your part. The syllabus, when you look at it, shows you everything we're covering each week, and some weeks it is a lot. Make sure to check out the syllabus video and do the extra quizzes. I'm like, serious, you're going to think they're stupid and annoying and very long, and they are very long. But if you do those extra quizzes, they're extra credit, and they will help you prepare for a test better than anything else ever. So there you go. Hybrid. This is a hybrid course. That's the nature of everything right now. And considering our cases are going up and we now also have confirmation that the new, more contagious strain of COVID is alive and well in the state of Georgia, it's possible things might get a little crazier. So rest assured, if we have to go to fully online, I already have everything ready. You will not miss anything whatsoever. It'll just be poof, we slide right in, we're good to go. But here's the important thing. You have to do the hybrid assignments. Technically, you need to do all the assignments because if you don't do any of the assignments, you're not going to pass the course. It's not possible to pass my course if you do not do any assignments. Just letting you know. Because of all the exams, that will be 400 points, and you need at least 650 points just to pass with a D. So you have to do assignments. However, the hybrid assignments, this one is specifically the GMC rule. I have to withdraw you from the course if you miss more than 3 of them. So do them. They are clearly marked as hybrid assignments. You will have 2 every single week. There will be the lecture assignment that says hybrid, and then I believe it is titled Critical Thinking Weekly Writing, and that will also say hybrid. Just do them every single week. Make sure to get them done. Email protocol. Please feel free to email me, but be polite when you do so. Do not start an email with my Linda, hey, what up, sup, or anything like that. Yes, I have gotten emails from students with every one of those. Use proper grammar and punctuation in actual sentences. Pay attention to how you're writing. Remember that you are writing to your teacher, and try to show that you remembered you're writing to your teacher. Clear and concise. Make sure I understand what you're asking or what you're saying. So before you hit send, do me a favor and sit back and read your email out loud so you can tell whether or not it makes sense. If I cannot understand what you're asking, I'm going to have a hard time answering it. So please, please, please be careful and be clear. That's it. I say here if you have any questions, but you can't ask them because it's on video. But there you go. If you can think of any questions, feel free to just shoot me a message. And I guess that is it. I will leave it right up here and say I look forward to meeting you in 2 weeks. Make sure to get all your online stuff done. Make sure to watch that syllabus video and take that. Well, I guess you have to have already taken the proof of attendance quiz. Otherwise, you wouldn't see this because of where I have it posted. If you want to work a little bit ahead, feel free to check out the YouTube channel where this is linked to, because I still have all of last quarter's videos up there, so you can actually check a whole bunch of stuff out. I am slowly redoing them and updating them, but at the moment they are all there. So if you want to just go ahead and see what you have to look forward to, go for it. I might change some of the labs, but you know, if you want to just go for it, go for it. Might make your life a little easier. I guess that's it. So, bye. Isn't that so weird saying bye when you log off? What else am I going to do? I keep just going, peace out, and it's starting to sound really awkward. But, it's what I do.